Donald Trump talking about Vladimir Putin coming days after the Russian president praised the Republican frontrunner. Well, Trump's rivals are slamming this relationship with Vladimir Putin, and Trump appears to be fighting back at some of the allegations against Putin, including ordering journalists and political rivals to be killed in Russia.
If he has killed reporters, I think that's terrible. But this isn't like somebody that stood with a gun and he's, taken the blame or he's admitted that he's killed. He's always denied it. It's never been proven that he's killed anybody. So, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Well, this hasn't gone away, has it? KT McFarland, Fox News national security analyst and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Reagan administration. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Is he right or wrong on all this?
Well, look, the bromance between the big boys, between Putin and Trump, maybe Putin did get his opponents killed. He's a former head of the KGB. That's the kind of thing they do. But on the other hand, it speaks to a bigger issue, which is how we who's our real enemy in the world right now? What are our priorities? Who do we need to defeat? We need to defeat ISIS. And how do we do it? Well, we can't do it alone. So maybe Trump is onto something.
You write, KT, that one rule you've learned in diplomacy, as well as in life, is to pick your fights. Now, how does that apply to this?
Here's how it applies. I worked for President Reagan. President Reagan knew the thing he needed to do was to defeat the Soviet Empire and take down communism. How did he do that? By focusing on a laser, using all elements of national power, sometimes holding our nose and having to have allies that we otherwise didn't like to take down the Soviet Union. It worked. Reagan did not get distracted by a land war in the Middle East. He did not get distracted from that primary goal. What is the existential threat of our time? I think it's global jihad. We can laugh at them. We can say they may think they're going to take down Western civilization, but who are they? Well, the problem is, if they ever get their hands on weapons of mass destruction before we've destroyed them, they will use those weapons.
Wow. Don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it.
Trump says, I believe I'll get along fine with Putin. Other leaders, Obama doesn't get it. Trump said if Russia wants to bomb the hell out of ISIS, I'm fine with that. Trump says if Putin wants to call me brilliant, other things nice, I accept that. If we get along with Russia, that is a positive thing. And that last point we have not heard a lot about.
Yes.
When you talk about national security, what do you think about getting along with Vladimir Putin in Russia?
Here's the thing, Bill. You can't fight everybody all the time, all right? We can't fight the Russians. We can't fight the Chinese. We can't fight the Iranians. We can't fight ISIS and try to prevail and win against all of them. And I'm talking about fighting not just with military forces, but fighting in the adversarial sense of using other elements of national power, economics, politics, ideological alliances. Pick your fight. And I think the fight that the United States and all of Western civilization has right now against global jihad. They want to exterminate us. You're not going to win their hearts and minds. You're not going to deter them from their... Just think of the mindset that a woman had who would leave her 6-month-old child and go off and slaughter the people that just a few months ago had given her a baby shower and baby presents.
Oh, I get it, yeah. I mean,
you're not going to convince these people. You got to destroy
Lindsey Graham has dropped out, and as you well know, he supported at least 10,000 troops in Iraq and Syria. Maybe the number went higher than that, to 20, or at some point, perhaps as many as 30,000. That debate, as it continues, without Lindsey Graham carrying the flag, goes where?
I think it goes to Jeb Bush and Chris Christie, who have both been advocating a bigger military presence in the Middle East. 10, 20, 30,000 forces. In other words, beyond just the special forces and the intelligence cooperation. They see a more muscular American role in the Middle East, regardless of what others are doing. So I think that the support that Senator Graham had, that position that he's articulated, that's where it goes.
Last question for you then. Did you ever support Lindsey Graham's position about putting more troops on the ground? Was that the right approach, or was it more targeted with special ops, et cetera?
I think Senator Graham is just a great patriot and a great American. I don't always agree with him, and as far as the United States getting another land war in the Middle East, I do not think that's the right plan. However, I don't think it's an excuse to do nothing. I would use all the elements of national power, destroy their economy, not just bomb their oil fields, but sanction the countries and companies that do business with ISIS. Have the ideological fight. Talk about a propaganda war again. Use our technology firms in Silicon Valley to go after their social media, their ability to recruit in social media. Get away with political correctness. Get rid of it. And understand that if this is a fight that we have to win, you are going to have collateral damage. And so if the reason we don't bomb a convoy of oil tankers carrying ISIS oil to market is because we're worried about environmental damage or collateral damage, understand that the bigger damage to the Western world is if those oil tankers get through.
We labeled the drivers of those trucks innocents for more than a year, and we waited. Katie, thank you.
Thank you,
Katie
Bill.
McFarland here in the
Thank
studio. You got it.